Hello and welcome to the show. I am here on Forza Horizon 2 with a Nissan Juke, but this is not just any old Juke. This is a fully maxed out one. It has 1,017 horsepower from a Nissan GTR engine, and it's still front wheel drive. So this is by far the most powerful front wheel drive car I believe that you can create in Forza. That is an awful lot of power. There's some 830 foot-pounds of torque, all going to the front wheels in a car that weighs less than 2,700 pounds. I am expecting crazy from this. Now, I did have a 920 horsepower front-wheel drive Focus that was the previous most powerful front-wheel drive car I could build, and it wasn't quite as terrible as I expected. It wasn't easy, but it wasn't quite as terrible. But this has got more power, and I think around roughly about the same torque that the Focus had. It does have things like race tyres to help it along, and we have maximum front tyre widths, but there are only 275s on the front, which, yes, while bigger than the standard ones, I mean, they're still not massive tyres compared to some of the vehicle. I mean, I would like some, like 345s on the front for this, because this is an awful lot of power that we have got the front wheels. The front wheels have got to deal with putting this power down. They've got to be dealing with cornering. They deal with most of the braking, or a large proportion of the braking as well. So this is going to be I'm expecting to be very difficult to bloody drive. Yes, we have race brakes, so we should at least get stopped in a relatively, decent distance. It's got race weight reduction as well, and so on. But I see the main issue here as trying to use any power when going through a corner. I suspect the second I go near the throttle while going through a corner, we will get a literal mile of understeer from this car. I thought for testing it'd be quite fun to do some of the single-player career races, if you like. So we're going to do a couple of circuit races, whatever there, and they should really challenge this car on some small, narrow, tight, and twisty street circuits. Right, let us fire the Juke forwards. I'll be honest, I am quite nervous about this vehicle. There we go. Actually, I have to say, I'm surprised. I thought we were going to get a mile of wheel spin just doing that silly stuff. There is a fair amount of wheel spin. It's not quite as terrible. That was only a small little bit, but I was expecting more craziness from the Juke. I will be honest. Okay. Right. Time to see how we do at a circuit race. Please, Nissan, be kind to me. Please don't try and kill me when we go. We're going to lose any positions we have at the start. We're going to lose them pretty much instantly. The game is pretty good, actually, at giving you... So if I turn up in an S2 class here, it modifies all the cars around me to the same spec, if you like. So if you want to race a city car, you can. If you want to race a B-class car, the game will. But I'm suspecting these probably won't still be front-wheel drive. And certainly if they are, they will have a hell of a lot less horsepower than me and probably be more controllable. Right, let us go and just wheel spin. How many gears can I wheel spin through if I keep it flat out? Third, fourth, fifth, not quite fifth. If I change up to fifth sooner, it probably would still have. That's not... I made it round a corner without understeering for a mile. I mean, if I am full on the throttle down there, I don't actually have a huge amount of steering. But I'm on about half throttle through that turn, and we're not falling off the road. What is going on? That's not quite what I expect. Oh, there we go. There goes some understeer. Okay, we do have to be a little bit careful. But I'm really amazed. This is not quite as terrible as I was expecting it to be. This is not quite... I mean, it's not an easy vehicle to drive, no, and I'm certainly having to be careful with the throttle. Certainly out of these corners, I'm having to be very, very careful. And no, I can't jump on the throttle as soon as I would perhaps like, or as soon as I would with a four-wheel drive car, or a rear-wheel drive car for that matter. But I'm being quite a moron here, and it's really not that bad to drive. What's going on? Nothing about this should work. This should just be the worst thing imaginable. And it really... it's not exactly an ideal racing vehicle, no. But this should... We're fighting for podium. I may have completely smashed the other... I do apologise. On that one, some poor driving from me. Okay, yeah. slightly bullying my way to the front of the front of the field. But this is nowhere near as bad as I was expecting from it. I mean, I'm getting on the power far sooner than I thought I ever would be able to. Like, again, yeah, okay, there's getting a little bit of wheel spin down there, but we've got the Integra. We have got quite a lot of understeer. You've got to be careful getting on the power when going around these corners, but I thought I just wouldn't be able to go near the throttle. Fact is, I'm on sort of 50% throttle on the most part through these turns, and it's not trying to kill me. That's really amazing. I did not expect it in any way to drive like this. This is far that we're gonna have a big understeer moment through there, just trying to carry more speed, but that's not the car that I expected it to be. Like, it is understeery, and you do have to be careful applying the power, but it's mostly out of the turns. Sure, I mean, if you're an utter moron with the throttle, yes, you will get understeer constantly if you try and drive it like a four-wheel drive car. But that's not the silly vehicle that's it kind of won a race by a fair. I mean, this has got the AI on the hardest difficulty as well, as I normally would with Horizon. They're not the most challenging of AIs, no, but I thought with this sillier a vehicle they would make it interesting, but apparently no. Yeah, if I boot it straight off the line, we get just wheel spin, more wheel spin, and this will probably, there we go, it gave up. This would probably make longer sort of 11s on the road than a lot of rear-wheel drive muscle cars. Unfortunately, they'd just be from the front wheels, and we wouldn't be able to steer if something happened to appear in front of us, but still, let's try another one. This race, I think, is a slightly longer circuit, maybe. To be fair, the reason I picked Nice for this particularly is because it's all tight, twisty, horrible street circuits, and I thought, well, what could be worse for an overpowered front-wheel drive car? And apparently, it's okay with this. It may not be okay with it raining. Now, the rain doesn't make a huge effect on the cars, but it does make an effect. And when you have this much power in a front-wheel drive car, I suspect that effect will be rather noticeable, but never mind. I was wrong. Just everything. Yeah, okay. We do sort of slightly sit there and spin. We're back into last again from the from the start line. Getting going is probably the biggest difficulty. Well, apparently we're going this way, and I think that I think I did miss the. Bugger it. The bounce off the Mini did not help. Shush, ignore the rewind. Ignore the rewind there. Oh, don't go into the side of a Corsa. Right. Yeah, come on now. I'm having enough difficulties with my car. The last thing I need is you guys sort of assisting me in them. We're going up the inside of a vehicle. There is no quite noticeable understeer coming off from this car. But honestly, it's not terrible. It's not terrible to sort of manage it and stuff, which is really peculiar. Right, get it stopped and turned, and can we outdrag these cars on the way out of this corner? Carefully does it. It's honestly just power delivery that's the issue. Getting the car going out of a tow, because once it does get going, it's phenomenally fast with all of this power. Slam on the brakes. However, like through here, I'm having to be a bit careful. Sure, more careful than I would normally, but it's not at all the car that I expected to be driving. Come on, we're fighting for third. Can I go around the outside of the Alpha? No, I can't. Oh, maybe I... No, almost. Almost worked. God damn it. I'd have liked to have got that part. Whoa, that's so bloody slow through here. Sure, I'll just give the Alpha a hurry-up bump. That's what it was. Whoa! Not sure if I got an assist there or quite what I did. So for some reason we went very, very sideways into that corner. Come on, Nissan. You will not be beaten. Look, you guys you're dabbing on the brakes through there. I'm just going flat out in the rain with all of the wheels spinning. I'm okay. You guys do not need to be going on the brakes. Hey, up the inside into second. Come on, we've got to get the Fiat. We've got to get the Fiat on this lap. Now, we don't have too many cars around us to bump into. We should... Oh, careful now. Oh, some... Yeah, I mean, there are some handling issues, certainly. But, there we go. Yeah, trying to get it going again. I think I've hit too many roadside obstacles to take victory here and got in too many scuffles with the drivatars. Come on, get it through this final turn. I know he's gonna dab on the brakes through this bit coming up. Just try use that 1,000 horsepower Come on, we can. It's going to be close. It's going to be mighty close. Use the speed. Use the speed. Are we going to get him? I don't know. Yes, we did. The speed of the mighty Juke. That was a bit close. Look at that finish. That was very, very close. Okay, it had a couple more issues on there, but really, that's pretty fast for what it is. That's really not that bad. I'm astounded by how well this is dealing with, yeah, sure, it has race tyres, but this is asking a huge amount of, well, anything to be doing. Okay, so street circuits haven't stumped the Juke. Right. I have a plan that may cause it some issues. So, it managed to go around tight twisty stuff. Now time to see how it does on the motorway. We're going to give this a speed run, see how fast we can get the Juke up to. It does have 1,000 horsepower, yes, but let's face it, the Juke is not the most aerodynamical of shapes, so I'm expecting we may get, we're not going to sort of break any speed records, but we should get well past the 200 mile an hour mark, maybe kind of up to about 215 perhaps. From this, we will first not do that. We'll dump off all of the aero. I will keep the parts actually on it, as I do kind of want some control of the car, but we'll remove as much of it as we can. 202 miles an hour, it reckons. At the moment, so oopsie, we don't want to go that way. We want to extend the gear ratios. What do we reckon we're going to be getting out of it? We're going to be 200. Could we really get 230 miles an hour out of a front-wheel drive Juke? That sounds a bit ridiculous. And indeed, it reckons we can. If I extend it more, we're going to get to a point where the gear ratios are too long. Yeah, okay, so that point there, the gear ratios are too long. Kind of want to bring it back a little bit. I love how making the gear ratios too long help improve acceleration, because it's just going to try and cut that wheel spin when we go to set off. 230, it reckons we can do 231. 231 with a front, sure. This, I have no doubt that the car technically can. The thing is with the motorway that I have to deal with, well, some kind of very, very fast cornering. This is probably the quicker way of spinning it round. Whoop, okay, I've spun it around far too fast. I'm going to get killed by a driver tar. Thank you. Oh, we're back pointing this way again. The driver tars are all coming past. Right, there we go. Spun round. We're going to just get going. We've also got about the worst conditions imaginable for speed running. It's pouring with rain and currently at night, so we're just giving it all of the ridiculousness, all of the silly challenging for the Juke. It's also very busy down here. Horizon is not normally this busy, is it? Maybe it is at this part. I've been a while since I've driven a speed run sort of on the motorway. We're already almost at 200 miles an hour. It is a fast vehicle. Now, we're not going to take this corner at 200, that is for sure. But it deals with this. There is understeer, of course there is going to be, but it deals with it so much better than I expected it to. I thought we were going to fall off the road there. Okay, well, we got understeer, but I am flat out through there. 195 miles an hour, and the Juke is okay with it. This next corner could cause issues. There is a horrible, horrible bump through this next turn, and I'm not sure. 220 miles an hour. We're going on the brakes through there. Not only there are cars in the way. I just don't trust the vehicle. Whoa, yeah, the bump. Whoa, there we go. We're having a big off. I don't even know where we are anymore. Okay, the car can deal with the cornering at 195, but that bump in the rain, there is nothing you can do. I thought I'd got over the worst of it. I slightly forgot where it was. Like, it had an initial little scary moment, and then we just had a very, very big sideways. AIs, come on now, don't change lane on me like that. I'm trying my best to keep this under control, but an AI car changes direction in front of me. You can't weave out of the way as well in this at all. Like, sort of that the initial sort of swervability, if you like, that is a new measurement of cars, especially important for a vehicle like this. Yeah, being able to get out of the way, you just doesn't have quite the same maneuverability through these gaps. But when we're taking a long sweeping corner at 200 miles an hour, I don't get anywhere near the understeer I was expecting to get from it. I mean, I can be flat out on the throttle and it's okay. It's fine going through these turns. I'm slightly worried about traffic and actually seeing traffic as well, being at night. Come okay. I mean, there is understeer. I'll be honest, I've had rear-wheel drive cars and that are harder to drive than this down here. Aside from its very strong dislike for bumps, this is it. The Juke is still beating me. It's still beating all of my expectations. I was thinking it would be terrible at a street circuit. It wasn't. I was thinking it would be terrible at a speed run. It isn't. We're at 229, and I can still weave out of it, or can still maneuver it out of the way of vans and so on. It's not fully committed. 230. There we go. We cracked 230, 231, 232, 233 miles an hour. 233 miles an hour from a front-wheel drive Juke. I'm gonna slow it down there though. This is not what. God's sake, car! I was supposed to make a video that was supposed to be funny because of a terrible understeering thing, and you're just not. How on earth is it this good? I don't know. Hey, I leveled up as well. Oh, let's see if we get anything interesting. It didn't get started. It did 230 and was, aside from the bump, very controllable. Nah, that's boring. Boring money. Yeah. Okay. I have one more thing. One more thing that might stump the Juke. I thought that the high-speed turns would here. They don't. Okay. I have one last test, one last challenge for this car. That even the mighty grip that is proven to have so far, I don't think is going to be enough for this. And that would be because I'm going to take the Juke rallying. Yes, now I built the four-wheel drive one of these to S1 class for the rally car build, and it went around the circuit in, I think it was 1 minute 1.6, 1 minute 1.7, something like that. And I'm now going to see how a 1,000 horsepower front-wheel drive one does. I don't expect it to go quicker, but then again, I expected this car to be terrible. Like, absolutely god-awful terrible. And, yeah, it hasn't so far, so who knows what the Juke is capable of. And amazingly, getting off the line there wasn't quite as terrible as I was expecting. Yeah, through these turns we're having some issues. The real issue I foresee is kind of what I was expecting it to do on normal surfaces, is, well, as we just don't get the turning, is that if I go near the throttle, the car just goes straight. So if I try and use any throttle through the turns, the Juke it goes straight. Ooh. Oh no, we're going to go around in a circle. And if I don't go near the throttle, the back end wants to come round. It's quite a twitchy car out here. The back end keeps wanting to come round, and I have to keep trying to use some throttle. Then using some throttle makes it want to go straight into a wall, or off the course, or trees, or whatever. It's just not chicken. That's still 100 miles an hour through that second to last corner. Okay. Now, careful. No, the twitchiness is immense. I mean, it's going to be ludicrously fast in a straight line if I could stop it twitching. No, trees! Bad Juke. We've definitely found the trees there. It's so twitchy on the dirt. It really doesn't like this. The thing is, as I said, this is kind of how I expected it to drive a little bit more on the tarmac with this much power. Certainly in the rain, so much power through the front wheels. I mean, if I'm really careful, I might be able to get a lap out of the Juke. I've got to be super careful. It's just sort of using about 40, maybe 40% throttle at best through these turns. Really ease it through the corners, across the big jump. Oh wait, that's fine. And then, oh no, big slides. That's not what we want to be doing. Come on, keep it under control. Keep it nice and smooth. And amazingly, we're actually going relatively quickly around here, although that's going to have a big off moment. That's not what you want at all through there. Got it back together again. I think I may, amazingly, if I have no accidents in these next couple of laps, I may actually go quicker. Just looking at where I was relative to the sort of the ghost time, this could genuinely go okay. Around here, you do have to be super careful now. This is the super carefulness that I was expecting to have on tarmac. It is just barely using any throttle at all through these turns. Again, barely anything through here. The back end will come out. Fortunately, being front-wheel drive, the back end does come out. I can kind of solve it by boosting it, but I have to be so careful doing that. I have to be so careful with booting it around on this sort of surface and on this kind of course even. How much speed can we get through here? It hates that turn. I cannot go into that turn. I just can't tip the car into it with any speed. The back end wants to come round, which is a very peculiar problem. Of all the things to have issues with, the biggest problem I'm currently having is oversteer. And this is yeah, I know that doesn't make much sense either, but that that is the truth. That corner is actually causing me, the first half of a lap, this is as quick, if not quicker, than the four-wheel drive one. Admittedly, yes, that was S1 class and had only 500 horsepower, but honestly, this shouldn't work. There is none of this should work whatsoever. Yet for the first half a lap, it is, I reckon, quicker. My brain is not sure how any of this is actually working. And this does take a hell of a lot of concentration, though, to keep this on the road. I dashed quite a dodgy first corner there. This is much tougher to drive than the four-wheel drive one, sure. I think we'll just have to be really super slow across the jump, and I've butchered this corner as well. So what we need to do is now not try to carry the speed through the turn down here. Be really, really gentle. There we go. We got through it that time. Yeah, that's where we lose the time. We can't take any speed through that turn, amusingly, because of oversteer, and I can't actually turn the car very far to the left there, so I have to run the very high line. We're going to have a big oversteer moment across the bumps. Yeah, these final couple of corners actually cause it a lot of issues. We should be relatively quick now that we've fired it out of that final turn, and we can try and use some of the speed. I'm not sure if keeping it in a high gear is going to be particularly helpful, because I don't think it matters what gear I go in. If I try and go on the throttle, I think we're just going to get a mile of wheel spin. Let's just try keeping it in fourth and see how that fares. Oh no, we got a twitch on the middle of the corner. Yeah, even that, it didn't quite work how I'd hoped to. 1 minute 4.6 is, again, that is so much quicker than I was thinking we may get from the front-wheel drive Juke. Honestly, this first section of the lap, if I can get it right, it's actually not terrible. Yes, there is an awful lot of caution involved, an awful lot of throttle control involved, keeping it together. It really struggles the latter half of the lap with oversteer. So yeah, I just can't carry the speed through here because it starts oversteering, and then I can't save it. Can't save it safely. If I do save it, you lose so much time. See, again, there's a big oversteer going on there, which is really peculiar, and we're gonna park over here. It's fine, the Duke's had enough. It wants to go home. This is a silly, silly thing. It is nowhere near as bad as terrible as I expected, though. This is tough on the dirt, but I expected it to be like that on the tarmac, and it just isn't. Yes, you do have to have some throttle control on tarmac, but nowhere near the levels I expected from it. 1,000 horsepower front-wheel drive car is not as ridiculous as as I thought. It did 230 miles an hour. I am mighty impressed with how well this dealt with everything. No, it's not going to replace my my S2 car of choice, certainly not, but it's far more drivable than I ever expected. Anyway, that is it from me. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.